Welcome back to Fre Emblem. Let's continue our tirade against Lundgren. This map is actually full to the brim with bridges, which just squeeze everyone in and make tactics kind of a chore, but yes. Could rush in with Wallace, but that would mean that he soaks up the XP that someone else who doesn't have their life ahead of them screwed already. But yeah, as a whole, I'm kind of disappointed that it doesn't have like some sort of cool build-up where all of your current party members come and talk to you and they're like, oh yeah, we're with you 100% and yay, Lynn, or like that. Instead you just have like a really quick chat with Sane and Kent, who I guess are the oldest party members or something, I don't know, but it's nothing that final, I guess. It's got a very... like, the dialogue is final, the whole thing is what it's final. It's kind of weird that the final battle still has the exact same menu music, but what are you gonna do? Not saying you should fight any knights or generals or anything, but if you were, you could head on down to this shop that's next door. If every single citizen in this kingdom is against Lundgren, how does he consolidate any power in this entire kingdom? Literally everyone knows he's killing his brother, and everyone is against him. Yes, we're getting a new item. Stat boosting items, in this case a strength and magic boosting item. If you use it on a mage, they get more magic. If you use it on a warrior, they get more strength. And like they say, if you don't use it at all, it's just a complete waste. But they are very rare, so you want to be careful about them. And yeah, not much else to it really. You can do things like you could try and buff up a really weak character, cover their weaknesses. Like if there's a character with really low speed, you could try and buff up their speed and kind of make them more balanced. Or you could take a character that's already balanced towards one specific thing and try and make it so that they're just that much more powerful. Now keep in mind that units do have a cap on their stats, so it can get a bit problematic if you want to say, like, you use a strength buff on Sane, but then once he reaches level 20, his stats reach their cap, then you basically wasted the item. So I suggest you wait until a bit later in the game before using them, but on the other hand, don't not use them. It's a really huge waste to not use them, and they're not so rare that using them is like a thing you just can't do. So yeah, I don't know. Rain time. Sarah's running on her heels. I kind of wish that this had like a darker palette or something like that. It would really, and like then add some like dramatic string music or something. That would make this a lot more of a final scene. I mean, there's thunderstorms already, or rainstorms, or something like that, but they're not doing anything with it. Oh yeah, something I haven't really touched on. Special weapons in Fire Emblem always have a strength to them about something. Like, more often than not, lords will have things that can easily take out things like, usually generally very strong units like Cavaliers or something like that. Like you just saw how the Manakadi is strong against Cavaliers. But yes, see, these are all the weapons that can pierce Lundgren's armor. They're nothing really that special, but yeah. Oh, and magic pierces defense, so obviously that can affect him too. And that's because of that. That's the thing. It's really, you don't really need to buy anything. It's not all that vital. I'm not exactly sure how thunder is more valuable than lightning, but what do I know? Oh, I guess there's one benefit to the rain on your end, is if an enemy like a Cavalier is about to charge you. If it's raining, they can't really come near you and attack, so there's that, I guess. I personally like when all the enemies just rush against me and break against my dodging, I guess. But yeah, what do I know? Oh, so close to a level up. If fighting in the trees makes it so that it's harder for you to get hit, shouldn't it make it harder for you to hit someone too? No. In the end, though, the thing I'm kind of disappointed with not seeing is support conversations, though. There was that one random moment with Matthew and Sarah, but as far as I can tell, there's not really anything that suggests, like, I don't know, something as in-depth as Sacred Stones, or even better, Fire Emblem Awakening, where you can really get to know these characters better. Because of that, they're just kind of, as soon as you meet them, that's as much character development as they get so far. Maybe it changed when I beat the game, I don't know. I don't know how this Fire Emblem works, but I'd assume it's just simpler because it is older. I wonder if they'll start bringing more Fire Emblem games out to the US now, because I looked at some sales figures, and every Fire Emblem game they release in the US doubles in sales. Like, the Japan-only Fire Emblems get 500,000 or less in sales, according to VG charts, but the ones that have been released in America will get close to 1 million. I don't think any of them have actually breached 1 million, but they're all pretty close. It really would mix. Like, if they released some translations on the Virtual Console for Wii U or something, that'd be great. Of course, what they're more likely to do is just release them in Japanese and just like, ha, you want to play our games? Learn Japanese. I do wonder what their reasoning, though, behind not releasing Fire Emblem in the US was, because, I don't know, it's like, the most popular kinds of RPGs in the West are generally the more grounded, realistic, maybe even politically driven ones. Stuff like, I don't know, what's... like, that thing is that we tend to have more of the European kind of fantasy, where it'll be like dragons or politics or something. Sounds silly when I say it, but yes, it just seems, because like Fire Emblem is a lot of that. It's not really your JRPG kind of stuff. It's very Arthurian, really. Like, there's lots of legendary swords and conniving politicians and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems like something that really would be something that the Western audience would enjoy, especially considering it's not even like it's more like a board game as opposed to the weird turn-based stuff that Final Fantasy had, which was still very successful. So I don't know, like, yeah, what was wrong with Fire Emblem that made them think that we wouldn't want it? I really think it was probably more just they didn't want to spend time translating it, because it's very text heavy. I guess, yeah, when you can just literally translate, like, Malio into Mario, why even bother with something that involves translating way more when you can do something? Like, yeah, if you just can spend way less money on localization for, like, a Mario game and get 22 million sales, why bother localizing an RPG when you only get, like, 1 million sales, I guess? It's kind of sad. But yeah, we're right here. We're gonna take out Lundgren now. Slowly and carefully. Because Lundgren is so powerful. And as said before, he can't be attacked by mere bronze weapons. No matter how strong the character is, it will always do 0 damage. So yeah. That can be bad. He is weak to the Armor Slayer. He is wearing armor after all. Oh man, I love this music. This is the boss music of the game, and it's really sweet, I gotta say. Really gets me pumped. But yeah, Lundgren actually has quite a bit of unique dialogue from what I've seen. I'm not really sure how, if at all, I'd be able to actually show it. Gotta love how his armor doesn't match his physical appearance at all. But yeah, also these dialogue things go on for a very long time, just so you know. There's a very good chance that Lundgren... Wow, that was actually really good. He had 99% or 91% chance of hitting and still missed. But yeah, he has a very low chance of being hit, very high defense, and can do ridiculous amount of damage with very high accuracy. He is a very good final boss. And yeah, he could do 21 damage to Sane, so yeah, one hit from him and Lyndis is dead. So there's that. You gotta be very careful taking out Lundgren. Especially if you're like me and you want the dialogue. I do want the dialogue. The dialogue is cool. Yeah, very low chance of hitting, but pierces armor, so you can actually do some damage to him, slowly chip away at that ridiculously high HP bar. So there you go, got Lundgren's foreign policy. If you don't enter my planet, then I will kill you. Very enclosed space here, so it's kind of hard to actually gather people around to take whacks at Lundgren. And you're gonna need the full power of your entire team to take him out, by the way. Unless, I guess, if you go and get those other weapons, and yeah, you have a bit better chance. I personally didn't really feel the need to spend the money because I got plenty of weapons that can pierce his armor. Oh, by the way, he can regenerate health. It has a javelin. The rain is a non-issue at this point though, by the way. So, Lucius, of all people, is the biggest damage dealer I have right now. That's weird. Yeah, one of the big things though that can be helpful is getting him to switch over to a javelin, because it's significantly weaker and less accurate than his regular weapons, his silver lance. So it's very much worth your while to try and lure him out by maybe putting a weak character out there. Just be careful because he can do massive damage and might kill someone. Nails can be very handy for getting some extra hits in too, by the way. But only really if Lundgren misses. As so. Lundgren can be very handy for leveling up your units, by the way. Not that you really need that at this point, because it's the final chapter. Slowly whittling away his HP. Man, I've had great luck so far, jeez. Weighing my options. It's too much of a risk at this point. In case you haven't noticed, Lucius is kind of the saving grace here because he's accurate, he can pierce defense, he's ranged, it's just very useful. Gotta get Lyn in there somehow. You taste it? We're so close to the end. Boy, to take out Lundgren after all this. Presumably we don't miss. Such a kind of a weird little point they bring up here where he still is playing this charade where it's like, oh, you're not really related, but what makes me almost wonder if he actually believes it. Maybe there's more to this plot. I don't know yet. Well, and with that badass slash, it's all over. Lundgren is defeated. Boom, taken care of. And Lyn absorbed his soul to increase her speed and HP. But yeah, that's that. Lundgren is deposed, and that's just a matter of claiming the throne. And then we'll see how this tale ends next time. For the last time. For the first time. For an X number of time. See you later. Bye bye.